Good evening and welcome to tonight's episode of Eat, Fret and Survive.
Take two.
Everything's moving as it should be.
Can we see?
We are live.
We are live.
Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of Eat, Fret and Survive, where some friends are gathered around the table, and Ross is also here digitally to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I love the enthusiasm.
We're also being heckled by the world's cutest heckler.
Yeah.
We've got that happening.
We'll forgive him for everything he says.
Hey, optimistic read.
I've been waiting this entire time to subscribe, waiting for us to be live again.
You want to have that alert pop up in the middle of the screen, didn't you?
Appreciate it.
Nice.
Gotta get my name out there.
There you go. We are back once again to play some more of our D&D campaign and to see where life is going to take us. We are running late today because we had some technical issues at the start, which meant that things were terrible, so it wasn't worth carrying on, so we had to fix that.
Sorry.
So yeah, we're just going to sort of power through. So usual things we're going to talk about is, first of all, thank you very much to Game Tea, the providers of wonderful gaming adjacent gear and goods. They make some wonderful stuff, including candles and art prints, and there's my command button.
And dice.
And all sorts of wonderful stuff. You can go on to gametea.co.uk/eat-crit-survive. What?
Ross has just said,
Not
the game chat.
Is that what that goes?
Small child is.
He's just under a blanket. I just look behind me and I'm like, where's Arthur gone? I could just hear something. Just look behind me and it's just like
You just see
A
a
covered
lump
bits.
under the blanket. Yeah, it's like a ghost.
Yes, gametea.co.uk/eat-crit-survive, or go to use the link that's dropped in the chat, or go to use the code EAT-CRIT-SURVIVE. I'm flustered today.
It's
Get
okay.
yourself 5% off at checkout. And if you want to see any of our previous adventures, we have the continuation of this campaign on YouTube, and you can see our board game streams are also up there as well as our top of the box. And we have a 10 by 20 that we launched.
20.
Our 10 by 20 challenge.
10 by 19.
No, it's 10 by 20.
10 by 20, yes, we played.
200 games.
Yeah, but technically they're 19 different games.
Yes, but we're playing.
If you want to find out more, check out our YouTube page.
Yes.
Shall we skip the niceties of how is everybody and let's just throw ourselves into last time on
I'm not ready.
Eat, Fret and Survive.
Sorry, do you want my chair?
I vote for Laura to be the new host. So.
Yeah, Laura can be the new host.
It's all right because there's no notes behind there. You just make it up.
Yeah, that's totally.
Ignoring the elephant not in the room.
Well,
That's not a nice thing to say about Connor.
he's not in chat anymore, so
Don't mention.
he was in the chat earlier saying, where is that handsome gentleman who always wears hoodies? And I was like, well, Matt and I are both here. So
Also, I'm wearing a hoodie as well, so I was just wondering whether like he was asking what location I was in rather than like where am I?
Yeah.
don't question her identity.
Oh, you should have said we were doing hoodie theme. I could have joined in.
Call that a hoodie, even though it's not got a hoodie. It's not got a hood.
That's just a jumper.
It's a fleece.
Sure.
It looks cozy regardless.
Yeah. So, where did we leave off last time, please, Laura?
Would you like my summary?
That is multi-classing into assassin, apparently.
Now, I have said that even though I've managed to write down a page's worth of stuff, it's getting to the point where I'm getting too engrossed in the game to remember to write stuff down. So I apologize if these start to get shorter. Anyway.
Session 21. We hear wings flapping.
Desh goes invisible. We try and stealth. It does not go well. A huge dragon lands. Shit. She shoots lightning. We freeze. Nulleth's head screams. The dragon looks in. Fuck, they're mates. Reva is her name.
Yes.
I initially wrote down his and then realized it was a woman, so I'm retroactively correcting myself.
Nulleth is reattached. He makes Cassian sad again. Ew. We run. Desh is nowhere to be seen. Where is my griffin? We hide in an old hole. We go down the mine shaft. We camp. There are possums. Elijah gets a new glow stick. We head back to the entrance. The dragon is waiting, asleep. Elijah pokes the dragon. It wakes. We're dead. Cassian runs. Elijah and Klaus fight. We slowly turn and fight too. Elijah is crushed and taken. The dragon sits and waits. Everyone heads to the dragon. Reva talks to us about how to bring her child back. We have another quest.
I
Yay!
don't think we need to add anything.
No.
No, perfect.
I literally just sent Connor a message saying, "Where are your notes for the recap?" And he's not saying it.
How
How
sad.
dare he not?
Don't need it.
Recap.
All there.
When we left off, you had finished your business with Nullith, and you were making your way down up north.
Up north.
But in the process of leaving Nullith's hut, you had heard the great flapping, which had got your attention and caused you to hide. Hiding did not go well.
No.
It went well enough
So it's well enough that we didn't die.
for that time. The dragon found the hut, or at least assuming that's where you were, tried to speak to Nullith, and Nullith was puppeted from being just a spinal column and his head, and charmed with friends. So you had a conversation with the dragon. You then fled more north into an old mine shaft that you could use to give yourself some cover, and hid in there for a little bit. After coming to see the dragon was sleeping at the entrance, you decided that Connor decided to throw, Elijah decided to throw a paper airplane at him.
It was like that.
Sorry.
It's probably like that video where the guy right at the back of the football stadium throws that paper airplane and it managed to go into the goal. That's like the
Yeah.
feeling that I had with throwing the paper airplane at that dragon.
Well, it was more a case the dragon inhaled and then just went. It was a problem. Anyway, dragon woke up and blasted through the tunnel entrance, which hurt a lot.
Mhm.
So you
Yes,
ended up having to have a conversation to make sure you didn't die, which was very nearly impossible for at least Elijah.
Talking actually saved us, though.
It is sort of. In as much as you now have a fetch quest to go and fetch what has been described in conversations as the first MacGuffin. Or an artifact which will do the revival of the dragon child that you killed a few days earlier. With that in mind, we return to our heroes. So, what would you like to do?
So we rested.
You did not have a rest since you had you had the long rest when you
In the cave.
in the cave, and then you got up the
Yeah.
next day. So everybody's fine apart from Elijah and you.
Yeah.
You're hurt.
It's exhausted a bit as well, actually.
You're exhausted. What I mean is in terms of damage.
Oh.
You're exhausted from sprinting. There's a few-
I'm exhausted, but down only a handful of hit points.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm only a little bit hurt.
Yes. And Desh ran off into the tunnel.
Yeah, he did.
But you've forgotten that.
I'd forgotten he done exactly what he was told and went, and there was no way of stopping him from going too far after the fact. So
He might be smart enough to turn around and come back.
Or he might run into something that scares him enough to make him turn around and
The
come
possums
back.
are pretty big in that tunnel.
he could eat them.
It was dark. I can't see anything in there. Dragon's gone then.
Dragon has gone, yes. Has flapped off to parts unknown.
How is Elijah?
He is hurt.
Elijah is hurt. Elijah is sort of stood there going, I think that went rather well.
Brother, you're bleeding significantly.
It's fine.
Healing a fair amount.
He's up to 10.
Yeah, you healed him like 8.
Oh yeah, and he was at 2. That's right.
Yes. So, a fair amount proportionally.
10 is.
I will give a cure wounds.
Okay.
Pow.
Me too.
Oh, that's the double component.
Strange in the background or something as well. I'm not sure what that is. 8 healing.
8 more healing.
8
Is
more
it?
healing.
18.
Yay. That's okay.
Would you like to make an intelligence saving throw, please, sir?
Oh no. Oh, bonus crumbs.
19.
19, you're okay.
I would like to walk up to the mouth of the tunnel that we walked out of
Uh-huh.
and shout out Effie's name.
Okay. Roll a charisma check for me.
Oh, this can only go well. 7.
7. Dash! Dash. Nothing happens for
Okay. So
My God, his name for the next hour.
the first thing I have to do is get Dash back. And then we need to get set up for the quest. So
Quest.
Quest?
yeah, to
What?
get
was-
this child back and stop her destroying humanity.
That sounds like a great idea, but I was too busy preoccupied. Oh no, yeah.
you and
Me and Grit
Brett
weren't there.
actually there.
We ran out. Okay, so
Yeah,
we're kind of
so-
still sprinting over, going. "Ah."
Remember those dragons we fought up on the top of the cliff where there was the sheep?
The little dragons.
Little dragons that like they ran away after.
Apart from the one that
That one that we like took its teeth out and its claws, and we're going to use like its skin to make the coolest thing.
Yeah, it turns out that's the big dragon's child, and she's not happy about that.
I mean, if someone did that to my hypothetical child, I'd be pretty annoyed too. But
Yeah, so she wants us to find a way to bring them back. Otherwise, she's going to destroy everything. Was the general gist? Yeah,
That is where Seven Home is.
but apparently there's a big magic thing over to the east that can bring this dragon back, but she can't go there because it's too magical for her. But she thinks we'll survive, and I think she doesn't really care if we don't.
there's more east than where we are currently.
Yes. There's some lands that
So is that
that
this comment's far too clever for my character. So
Here's a map.
Yeah. So we're in this gorge.
Oh, yeah,
And
did
there's
someone actually make a map?
There's stuff off to the east.
That way.
We found a map.
we did find a map.
Specifically, I made the map. And then
So if it's too magical, do you think that all these magic happenings, goings on, is because of this too magical place that the
did
dragon?
say that it was the epicenter of all the weird magic stuff.
Oh wow. Do we want to go to an even more magical place where Grit loses maybe his eyeballs and like Elijah turns into a cactus?
Ooh.
no, if
Don't
anything-
make a joke about him being a prick. I've already thought of it. I'm going to call you on it.
I was merely going to say it would be far easier to keep him in one place and not have him run off.
I was going to say if anyone was the break, it'd be my brother. So.
I'm not sure I want to, but we are out here to explore, and also
We
I
kind of.
don't want to risk a big dragon smashing up Seven Home.
Yeah.
Use the word genocide.
Oh,
He did. Yes.
that's a big word.
I'm not even sure that word has been invented.
She's from the old world.
It's in Draconic in
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but we don't actually know what it means. But we've got the code.
Just got the idea of everyone's dead.
But she wasn't. She's annoyed, but she's not crazy. She did say we could go get resupplied and things before heading off.
Okay.
So with winter coming, I think maybe
No.
I think maybe we go back up to Fosfinger,
Uh-huh.
and then we can either go across back to Seven Home or follow the river back up to Newfound Town and get supplies, and then come back and
Is it east to where exactly we are now, or is it like on the east coast somewhere?
You have no idea.
Good.
We
Good,
just
good.
know we're heading east.
Good.
didn't say.
Good.
You just said it was east.
So
So it's
you-
in the landmass.
I guess head off and keep our eyes open for
So-
weird magic
What we
stuff.
need to do is just kind of cross the map, kind of doing that.
This
sort of
sort of
Eventually, the fog of war will lift.
We just keep doing magic stuff as we go. And
Oh, this is
try
Connor's
sort of
one.
measure the effect and see how badly they must have sucked.
Oh, it's Connor's one or it's Ross's one. I can't remember. Who wrote the Walpole as Mr. Whirly?
Me.
That's you.
Okay.
That's Ross. I've got Ross's map. It's okay. Anyway, so we've got like pretty much all of that.
Are the bees on the map as well?
The bees, they're right next to Fosfinger, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes. But you did draw a bee on your map, so thank you.
That's what I was trying to clarify.
Yeah, that diagram helped massively.
Good.
Otherwise, you wouldn't know what a bee
Fosfinger and
is.
bees. You see the bee?
Yeah.
And Mr. Whirly, which just like a nice
I need to
combination.
stick together.
You could say I'm buzzing about going to Fosfinger.
What do we need in Fosfinger? Because I'm pretty sure we can't get.
No.
No, I agree. Pretty sure.
You go Fosfinger.
I just got one.
He's already got one. He's already got the info. Information.
By introducing a new character.
Yeah, the crazy, just little gnome. Information about.
Well, maybe there'd be some records about this magic thing, because if it is a big artifact, there's lots of stuff on made things in the library. Maybe we can find stuff about bringing people back from the dead. Who knows? And as we might have to head over to, I think if we're going to go and get supplies, we should go and get them from Sevenholm, and maybe we can find some plans for good weapons at Fosfinger and take them over to Sevenholm. So if it does all go wrong, at least they've got some defence.
It's not a bad idea. And Fosfinger is on level with Sevenholm. It's shorter that way.
Yeah.
More supplies, because we don't know how Newfound Town is really doing. How long have we been away?
By this point, probably about 2 or 3 weeks
Of Newfound Town.
from Newfound Town, yes.
Okay.
Because it took you about 10 days to get down from Newfound Town to Fosfinger. You stayed there for a few days, and then you travelled down, which took
Oh,
you
we're there
about
for
a
like
week.
2 weeks.
What, Fosfinger?
Yeah.
I think you're only there for about 4 days.
Oh, okay.
Because 4 or 5 days.
I
So,
mean,
yeah,
2 weeks
it's been
doesn't
about-
seem excessive. So
It's probably been about 3 weeks then, 3.5 weeks.
okay.
There was a lot of stuff in Fosfinger, but there wasn't any actual food.
Yeah, no, it's just
Stone. There's a lot
Objects.
of buildings and a lot of supplies, but there wasn't that much.
Oh yeah, lots of useful stuff, but nothing we can eat.
Yes.
eat. Well, there might be honey in those big bee hives, maybe. Excuse you.
Most noisy words. I'd listen to basically.
Yeah.
And
Bees?
I can get to Fosfinger.
Your mic connection is not great, Ross, just FYI.
Probably because he's in the background.
Possibly.
There was all of my dice are in a metal container, and it's being held hostage by a toddler and being shaken like a rattle. And I think that's the mic to cut in and out. I think
It's better now. So yeah, if he stops shaking it, that is why.
Okay.
Okay, so first stop first is Fosfinger, so we might as well go there and see where we want to go next.
Yeah.
The quicker we get out of this place, the better. I don't like magic, I don't like dragons. Let's go. They make me sad. Let's leave. Oh wait, we've got to get Dash. I start shouting down the cave too. Dash, this is not funny. We are leaving right now.
Make an intimidation.
Yes, let's go. Let's no. Purple's rolling better. Intimidation. Natural 20.
You have more control over my bird than I do.
No, I'm just scary.
For a total of
21.
okay. You yell down the tunnel and sort of wait there for about 5 minutes, just tapping your foot.
I'm waiting.
And then eventually you just hear
And what time do you call this?
looks at you, takes a wing, brings it.
I'm not giving you anything. What have you got in your mouth? What have you got? Drop it.
Hasn't got anything in his mouth.
He wants food.
That's what
Of
you
course, it wants food. It only wants food. No. No more.
Please. Don't hurt. We don't hurt our friends.
make an animal handling check.
That's fine. We don't hurt our friends. That is a 11. No, a 12. A 12? 12. We don't hurt our friends. We save them from big reptiles. Like that massive thing that was just here. And
He looks off to where the dragon where you're pointing and looks at Smokey.
Not him. He's friend. Do not headbutt him. He could probably set you on fire quicker.
Smokey goes,
Play nice, both of you.
Yeah, Elijah. Play nice.
I don't know what you mean, brother. I'll give you a fish if you hit him.
Yes.
Okay, right.
But you again.
Ow!
Christ.
Not what I meant, but fair enough. You can throw the fish at Smokey.
Or it is.
For Smokey or
Not
for
throwing the
Dash?
dash.
Oh, okay. Bird.
Right, shall we?
Can we move on now?
Come at me. Come at me. We're going.
Oh.
We're going. We're leaving.
Might be bird.
Come at me, bird. You big bird.
All right, so you continue heading north. I'll
That's a,
say,
that's a more sensible pace.
yes.
See Dash's big bird.
Bright yellow.
I was thinking the rooster from Family Guy.
The problem is because he has got
Popcorn, acorn.
yeah, because he has got canonically a a long back end. It does look like Big Bird with a panto suit on. Anyway,
It's Big Bird and the Snuffleupagus just had a child.
Imagine a centaur, but instead of the man bit, it's big
Bird. Instead of a horse bit, it's more Big Bird. Anyway,
Digress.
we've gone off topic. All right, so you continue heading north. I was saying for the purposes of this, because you have travelled along this stretch mostly before, it's a little easier to remember. So I'll just take a single D20 roll from someone just to determine how the journey travelled.
6.
6. Well,
It's very
the D4 did
rainy.
not survive the toddler, apparently.
Oh.
The weather is still terrible.
Cool.
And when you after a couple of days, when you do reach
How strong is off?
pretty strong. After a couple of days, you do reach the point of the rope where you had climbed up previously and anchored it down, where you spent the night in that giant bird nest. It is sleety for quite a lot of your journey, and eventually you are able to come to the point where the gorge is narrowing and is a lot shorter. So it's coming up to that sort of maybe less than 100 feet or so, as you can see Fosfinger coming into view between the gap at the end.
Yes, we're getting out of here slowly. Is there magic still around us? Quick, someone do something. No, don't do anything. The magic might still be here.
Also,
we
for
know
the
it's...
purposes of this, you have been traveling, by this point, it's been about 7 days, been another week.
I'm tired.
So exhaustions have gone already. And on the third day of travel for you, Cassian, you wake up not feeling the impending death anymore. Which you kind of go, oh, that's good. But also probably means that the dragon ate No.
But the effects only last 3 days.
That too. Or it's a range thing. Yay!
Yeah, that's why I remember my character.
I can roll with normal vantage.
Normal vantage.
Normal vantage.
But you are now in the at the end of the canyon with Fosfinger dead ahead of you, but no bridge from here to Fosfinger.
Oh yeah, didn't we go by boat last time?
Yeah, we did.
Where
We,
did
When you come from the. No, didn't we cross over onto the mainland and.
You crossed into the mainland, you went along the cliff edge, and then you dropped down into the gorge later.
Just got to the bottom of the road where we climbed down.
So we didn't go up a boat.
No, you did not take a boat because the
We
canyon,
found-
the river canyon was too shallow up this end.
So how high are the canyon walls at this end?
About 50 feet.
Oh.
Significantly shallower than it has been previously.
Is there anything that looks like a pathway or anything losing up?
Make a perception check.
Or
There
what's a
are-
path?
There are paths that seem to zigzag their way up the cliff.
Wow. Okay. Oh, looks like there's paths up. Maybe that will take us up to the top and we can then work around to Fosfinger like we did before.
Sure. I climb on dash and fly.
Yep, there should flies up.
You could have just walked.
Yeah.
I could.
Okay. Climbing the path.
It lies in the water, yeah. You start climbing up the path, make a dexterity saving throw for me, you get part way out.
Oh, we're still in the gorge. We're trying to get out.
Yes.
Oh, and we've hit a dead end.
Yeah, you've hit the sort of the edge.
End.
Yeah,
Yeah.
end of the gorge. And now you're in that sort of sea
Oh.
canyon that's around the islands that Fingers on.
16.
16. Okay. As you're going up after you've gone about halfway up, your foot hits a patch of rock that then shears away. You haven't put enough weight on there that you're able to just sort of pivot back and swing just flat to the wall. But you do notice now that the path is quite frail and crumbly.
How far am I? About halfway. Is it?
About 25 feet.
Yes, really.
Did we leave a rope here? Did we say?
No.
No. You left a rope. You had a rope much later on, a couple of days or a day or so to travel the other way.
Oh yeah, because we walked on the top for a while.
You walked on top a
didn't we?
bit and then you went
Yeah.
down to try and hide.
House.
Hello.
Help!
This part's a bit crumbly. If you lower down a rope, could I get you to haul my pack up so it's not putting so much weight on the path?
Or just haul her up.
No.
I think it might be a bit heavy.
Oh yeah, because your armor.
We can try. I will.
Elijah looks at you. No, fucking can't.
No, I know we can't, but. So I throw one end of a rope down.
Okay.
Right, I tie my pack on. Okay, pull the pack up, please.
Doesn't go anywhere.
I tried.
Oh no, it's wet. Let's go of the rope.
I have to dodge out of the way because packs them up on my head.
Are you holding on?
How fast is it?
Make a strength saving.
Yeah,
God.
you haven't.
Fighter.
9!
9. You're still holding on to it, not expecting the sudden weight, and just yank forward. Make a dex save.
Good cartoon. Good cartoon.
22. Okay, you managed to suck your feet onto it. You just
There's 2 stones there, and you manage to like thunk, and you're just holding on like that.
well, you're now at a 90-degree angle, perpendicular to the wall, looking down.
I mean,
But
that's fine from my point of view.
yeah, exactly. You're okay. Just
Oh,
and the pack
okay.
has dropped 10 feet.
Okay, I guess that won't work. I got a bit afraid. Come on,
Pull it up, yeah.
Okay, you look after yourself. I'll make my way up.
Is there
Hopefully.
anywhere around here that I can tie the rope to?
There's a couple of rocks. Yeah. Couple of
Sure,
rocks you can hold.
I will do that.
Okay.
Surely though,
What's
if
your
you,
sleight of hand modifier?
5.
Taylor, if you can stand normally, like it's on a floor, surely you are better, you are sturdier than the rock to be tied to.
The ability lets
Because
him climb on it.
gravity-
Doesn't say that he becomes immovable.
I'm not an immovable rock.
Actually, Laura, if you were standing on the floor and you tied a rope to me and I was moving, do you think you would stay still or do you think you would move?
But gravity doesn't work with these guys.
No. Gravity does work on them. It's just they can climb on walls as if they were floors.
We're able to kind of
There is a
press on a
difference.
point, but if there was a greater force pulling it, and yeah.
Oh, okay. There is.
So
a
I tied the rope off and I drop it down and say, try that.
Oh dear.
The climb. So look at the rope, look at the bar. Gotta say, I'm not living into these options, but I mean, it's only really going down ropes that's gone badly, so let's try going up.
That's
Okay.
true.
You climb up the rope, you pull on it. See that
Logic.
you are able to climb up the rope easily enough.
Oh, that's better. Turns out going up slide, just going down that's the problem. Well,
Sure.
not a problem, it happens. Just a bit faster than I'd like.
I'm going to cast guidance on myself
Okay.
and then attempt to climb up the.
Okay. As you cast
Go.
guidance on yourself,
Yes.
Yeah.
do not have any surge of magical essence around you.
The curse is broken. Degrees teeth grow back.
No.
Worth
You are
asking.
able to climb up easily enough.
Wow.
I assume Grit and Cassian also climb up.
Yes.
Easy enough for you all of you together at the top. Once
Oh,
they
well,
climb.
we don't have to roll for it.
No, you're climbing up 50 feet of rope. With your strength, you
Oh, the rope. Yes.
I mean, you don't have to do like you know. You could take the precarious path of doom if you prefer.
I really have it.
yeah. Whilst the chuckleheads have been climbing up, you and your brother have had time to look around. Make a perception check for me.
Chuckle there.
Sorry, flats.
To me, to you.
Perception 17.
17, okay. As you sort of stand there looking around, your eye is caught by a few things that have changed in the time since you've been away.
Cool.
Firstly, there is the rope that you had anchored across initially
Mhm.
has been turned into a more formal rope bridge connecting Fosfinger to the mainland.
Cool.
It goes at a bit of an angle because it does lead to the top of the walls that surround it, but it is what it is. You can also see that some of the grassland and the flower fields that were here are now brown and furrowed.
Bam!
There has apparently been farming has occurred.
I couldn't see this. This is not my perception check.
You climb up. Bomb!
That used to be green.
I remember when all this wasn't just fields.
I remember.
I appreciated it. No, that's it.
No, sorry. That's really sad. That's
So, what would you like to do now?
How long are we planning on staying here?
I think long enough to at least do a little bit of research, but I mean, it looks like they may. Oh, stuff has changed, so it might depend on what we find. Let's go down to the farm and see
go see our
what we can
friends.
see.
See what the group has done.
The dragon
The blue
Blue man blue.
said that we would be able to resupply and all this stuff, but I feel like there was an intrinsic don't take the piss.
Yes.
What's in the giant
Yes.
dragon presence?
The implication of genocide is the jest not taking the piss.
Correct.
Well, we need to.
No, genocide's a very minor problem.
Totally.
Mhm.
I
Well,
worry about the implication that you've been involved with at least one. I did are too easy to believe.
I plead the fifth. Anyway, shall we go and see these people?
What?
Yes. Let's go this way.
I walk away.
So is there an actual farm building, or is it just?
There's not a
fields that have
farm
been
building, that
used?
is just fields that have been plowed.
Is there anyone visibly working this farm?
As you are getting closer, you see there are 3 individuals with dappled horses that are pulling plows in the separate fields. You do not recognize any of them.
People.
Kill them.
People. People.
How
Is
far,
this Laura doing this, or is this?
No, probably Cassian.
Bit about.
how far away are we?
Maybe 100 feet or so.
Hello there.
The nearest one turns its head to you, and you see that what you thought was sort of great, sort of brown flowing locks. It's actually a lion's mane. As you turn around and you see a leonine, lion humanoid, with their mane sort of tied back a little bit into a ponytail to keep it out of their face. Sort of wearing coveralls and looking out and waves.
People.
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 Oh, God.
Guys, there's people.
Hey.
Do any of these people look familiar?
No, you do not recognise them at all. You do see that as the other 2 now turn around, there is another male leaning who is also working the field with similarly tied back ponytail. And there is a neutrally presenting Earth Ganassi with deep brown skin and short green moss-like hair. It sort of covers the head, as hair does.
As hair does.
Yeah.
Not always.
Not always.
Hello, I'm Azaria. This is Elijah, Cassian, Grit, Klaus, Palimpsest, Desh, Smokey. We're from Seven Home Start. We've been out exploring. We came this way, found this place. We went south, and now we're back.
You're the ones that Winsome has spoken of.
Oh, you know Winston, my brother.
And January Cassian says that.
Yes, I am Darius. That is Melise, once the other Leonin, and Rubble, once the Ganassi. Sorry,
Suitable name.
yeah, we and about a dozen others or so. We woke up in the flower field maybe a week or so ago.
As in, like,
We just
You-
appeared. You all know this is a fairly common occurrence.
yeah, but
Like,
outside of Seven Home.
yeah, it hasn't happened outside of Seven.
That's
No,
why that's
but
why
but
Cassian's. Yeah, that's why Cassian's getting confused. Not that people have just appeared, but people have appeared outside of Seven Home.
yes.
They're growing everywhere now.
But
But
you know,
that's cool.
we've been preparing the fields for planting when the frost fades.
As in, sorry, up the walls we've just, or on the island of Fosfinger.
No, you are not. You are on the. So if you get your map out,
What?
so you guys came to the tip of the valley here and climbed out. You guys are effectively on this stretch of land
Yeah,
here that is on the outside, on the mainland, looking at Fosfinger.
yeah. So this little bit.
You probably come round that point.
this
That,
bit.
yeah, that little separate island at the bottom. That is where
That little island.
that is where the library is.
That's the library. That's the
That's the main city.
town. The repository. So the field of farming is what, like here?
Yeah, it's just on that tip.
Sweet. Sweet.
Um,
Farm.
but yeah, we saw the owly folk person come across and
Did we in the Fosfinger?
yeah, Winston status research. And he took us to the temple. We prayed to the gods for our purpose, and we've been given our roles and our training. We are the farmers. We've got a mason, a smith, carpenter,
How many are there?
dozen of us plus us, about 15 or so.
That's a good group.
Oh,
to
awesome.
start.
Yeah.
At least you guys didn't have to travel here. It saved you a lot of legwork.
Well, no, he looks down. He's got fairly beefy legs. I probably would have been okay.
That's fair. I
but we also-
I look at my legs and just look sad.
We've also got. There's a few people who are gifted.
It's not as big as those.
There's a few people here who are also pretty gifted with speaking with animals. There's been an expedition that's gone off to speak to the bees. That's apparently a thing.
Oh my goodness! Like, what do the bees
Are
do?
we basically sort of on top of where the beehives are? And
Yeah.
they're not like in the cliff below where we are.
They're a bit further north, but yes,
Right.
a little bit further north. Yeah, and then we've got some miners who are ready to. That's a pickaxey, not children. Ready to go and gather resources if we need to. We were told that you guys were getting some, so that's going to be useful.
Yeah. About that.
Yeah.
Oh, we have got some.
Yes. Yes, we have.
Turns out there are mines down the canyon, but it's dangerous, and we wouldn't recommend going
It's
there.
bad. I mean, great if you want to go on like a thrilling mine train ride, and if you want to find like cool swords like this one, and I pull the gold sword down. But other than that, say it's quite flammable and can make you quite sad if you meet this dead but not dead guy.
And there's a big scary dragon.
Oh yeah.
And if anyone tries any magic, it can go a bit wrong.
Great, show him your teeth. Oh wait, you don't have any anymore. And Grit just
Exhibit whatever the first letter of our alphabet is.
It's an umlaut.
That is our alphabet.
Oh, that got more of a chuckle than I expected.
Yeah, well,
All right. Well, I guess you probably want to go and speak to Winsome, I guess.
yeah, it'd be actually really good to catch up.
He'll be up at the temple, I imagine. They're doing a statue to Veden. So
Oh, nice.
just to
That
round
was
out
the
the
one that wasn't there.
yes. Because this city predates Veden as a god entity.
They're
Yeah.
installing the updates.
Please reboot for updates.
They kept flashing for notification every evening, and it was just like time for an update.
Stop it, guys! You're going to trigger Luke with the technical issues. Don't.
Oh, that might be it. I updated the computer before we started. No.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah. What would you like to do?
Oh, do you know how nice it is to actually find people to talk to?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go into the temple.
Yeah. God, there's a better bridge now as well.
Yes, last time we tried to do this, I think quite a few of us nearly fell to our doom. Nearly.
Oh no, I was fine.
You were okay.
I was fine.
Right, you are able to cross the bridge. It is a little rickety due to the winds that are blowing around it. It's kind of what you expect of a rope bridge over a coastal area. It's gusty, but you are able to cross over into Fosfinger and make your way up to the temple at the summit, where you do find Winsome, who is sat cross-legged reading a couple of scrolls and tomes that have been set out nearby while people are, a couple of individuals are carving a statue. There's a sort of half-elf woman who is sort of leading the finer details around the face. And then there's two shorter gnome individuals who are just sort of chipping away at the lower levels of the feet.
Do we see the glute anywhere?
There is a small cube of glute that is sort of doing some minor bits and pieces, sort of taking the excess chunks as they're taken away from the statue and just sort of converting them into something else.
Winsome, hey buddy.
Oh, you're back. Excellent. Oh, you're alive. That's good to hear.
Right, and I go in for a hug.
No. Okay.
Bones.
Thank you. We've got so much to tell you about.
Thank you.
I rode a mine train. I think I got cursed. And we found a dragon.
those are quite specific events.
I know.
But were you able to find any ore or anything else? Were you able to update the map as you went?
We can fill you in on what we
mark a
found.
couple of,
Yes.
a couple of
That'd be good, yes. That'd be excellent.
It all just
Yeah.
looked the same from down in there. Nothing notable apart from a few of the caves. There was a big lake outside the cave. A wee house. A few mines.
there were the
Oh,
damaged cranes.
yeah,
That was where
Yeah.
the little hut was
Mhm.
carved into the cliff.
yeah.
Well, do we? You must be exhausted. Sorry, interrupting. But would you like to go and have some tea and we can discuss some things? I'll take you to my house. We can have a discussion.
Oh, you've got to.
Yes. I mean, there are hundreds around. They just picked one.
It's your house. That's
is.
what makes it cool.
That's true. Sphinx. He turns his head and crows out, and you see a. Oh, Ross isn't even here. You turn around, and you see a hairless tabaxi that is sort of.
Why is it inside out?
Hold on, he's back. Start again.
Yeah,
Start
he's,
again.
Winston has just called
All
this, the hairless tabaxi. Says, since you're supervised for the moment, tabaxi acknowledges. Nods.
I
Yes.
lean to my brother.
There you go, Ross. I can finally say that I acknowledge that.
It's thanks. It's funny because I was looking at the points earlier and I was like, oh, I could just do a new one and think of something else. But then I thought I'm stacking it up too much for you.
I
Then.
lean to my brother and I say, why is that tabaxi inside out?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sometimes the gods make mistakes.
But the group of you go and just move away from the main temple itself and go into well, it looks like it's a hut that's not too far away from this temple. It's sort of like it would have been sort of a rectory building of some description, where facing out towards the sea. But Winston sort of takes you inside, and he's got a couple of chairs, small. Almost like rattan mat along the floor that he seems to sleep upon in a small kitchen area. And he starts to boil some water and put some leaves into a pot. Tea, yes?
Oh, yes, please. Thank
It
you.
may take a while, but not a worry. We've got time. So tell me, what happened? What did you find?
So we started off going along the top of the cliff edge and went along that way for a bit.
Sorry. Oh, what?
Go on, Connor.
What?
No,
What's he done?
Ross said very hairy tabaxi called Big Flute.
You walk out with some house. His brother, Big Flu.
Okay, sorry, carry on.
No. Big Floop is this one's cryptid.
Only ever seen in
They're the same one. It's just where he's put on a big coat.
yeah. Sorry, carry on.
No, or maybe it's like a werewolf. That's just Sphinx is really hairy.
The legend of Big Flu.
So yeah, we went on the top of the canyon and we were sort of keeping an eye out for hunting and gathering as we went. We got some sheep. We noticed some weird magical effects. When someone did some magic, it was as if something peculiar could happen at the same time.
Right, show me your teeth. Or not.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I don't have teeth either, so it's not really that much of an issue. But
It's not very nice.
no, I can imagine.
If we can fix it, that would be great.
I mean, if you want to go and forge yourself some teeth, you can more than welcome.
I do.
Workshop is.
This, to be honest, this conversation is kind of boring in comparison to the fact that I don't have any teeth.
You can go to the workshop if you like. I'm not going to.
I'm going to leave and go straight to the workshop because I'm fed up of not having teeth.
You want some? Do you want some of the gems to try and make teeth out of?
Sure.
I hand over some of the chunk of green gemstone I've got.
I'm trying to remember what I actually have. I think I have some arcanium on me at least. Yeah, I do. So at least I'm going to use some of that and then some
Gold
gems.
teeth are overrated.
Okay, you
Have
can
some
see.
green.
All right, you make your way down, and you will come to you in a moment.
Cool.
Yeah, we also got attacked by some little dragons, which of course we'll come to a bit later. So that's kind of a big deal.
Right.
And there's some other monsters up there, like a soil turtle kind of thing.
Yes.
I
That
forgot
was
about
big.
those.
But they were kind of
Only 2
woody.
weeks ago, guys. God, how can you forget these things?
They were kind of
Well, what's happened, okay?
yeah, they were kind of woody and
I
covered
remember,
in
yeah.
soil and greenery.
Mhm.
Weird things. And then we sort of decided that going on the top of the canyon was being problematic, so we decided to climb down into the canyon and follow that.
Well, presumably it was incredibly safe, yes?
Yes.
Well, we didn't get attacked so much, but getting down there was problematic.
Probably the hardest part.
Yeah. We did make it in the end. And what carried on heading south. And we found after all, we found a sort of small stone hut with someone living there called Nulleth, who dates from before the catastrophe.
With some cross on. Really?
Yeah,
That's incredible. That's someone alive?
kind of an undead. Long story short, they got a coin that they could flip toward them when they were going of impending death to let them avoid it. And they decided it'd be a great idea to try and shoot the gods by weighting the coin to always give themselves warning. So they end up cursed not to be able to die from what they can go on.
That would do it, yes.
And at first they seemed amused to have new people turning up and interested and were very helpful. And they gave us directions to some mines, but they made some of us feel bad.
Yeah, really sad.
And again, when we came
Not a
back,
nice guy.
when we came back here, it turns out not the nicest person.
He had a few undead friends, which
Yeah,
I mean,
does not include the dragon.
yeah. But before we got to that, we went down to the mines.
At least your skin's not falling off the bones.
Yeah.
we have waged well.
Yeah, we went down to the mines, found a way in, and we did find some ore. We've been told
Excellent.
you're looking for. Yeah, some metal that's good for making magic things out of, or things with magical properties.
Yes, the
Okay,
arcane.
yeah. Yeah, we found a good big chunk of that. Some gems. You saw we had some over to Grit, and you found a really good sword.
Oh yeah, as I put my tea down. Ching!
I wrote Grayskull.
This was being held by a dead guy's hand. I don't know where the rest of him was. Just his hand on the sword stuck in the wall. I pulled it out. Now I've got it. I don't know why I've suddenly turned into this accent.
The hand was the thing.
Interesting.
Haven't called thing.
Okay.
Yeah, there were a few monsters in the mine, but we dealt with them.
Bottoms.
No, that was the other mine.
Later.
The mine where we found the sword was the one with the flaming monsters.
Oh yeah.
Slightly more problematic.
Tar zombies.
Yeah.
Well, you found the ever burning tar.
The
Yeah.
Yeah, which we didn't have.
That's
a
an
thing of
interesting
it.
find that might be worth trying to
Yeah,
harvest.
we have an entire sleeping bag covered.
Oh!
It's no dog covers. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes,
What's in that tea?
I don't know, but it's good tea.
You don't want to know. All we know is it's quite delicious.
It is, thank you. So yeah, we beat the monsters, we did some mining, explored the mine a bit. Turned out that it went deeper than it first appeared. There was some hidden behind an illusionary wall. And then we decided to start heading back because we got the ore and we were getting a bit low on supplies, so we thought best to head back. But yeah, on the way back, we stopped in to see Nulith again because we promised to let him know how things went.
Bad idea.
Yeah,
I didn't like that guy.
Well, I thought it was okay at first, but when I went to see him again, he made me nervous. And I tried to sense if there was anything bad nearby, and turned out there were horrible decayed flying things in his house, and it freaked me out, and I hit it. And then he got in the fights on their side. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah.
But yeah, we ended up having a big fight. We did beat him, and
Sort of. He didn't die, but he did get decapitated.
It was some of my finest work, said Elijah.
it was scary.
It wasn't fun. I mean, partly. I mean, I did. Were they sprites? Were they undead sprites?
There were cadaver sprites.
I managed to smush a few undead sprites, which was quite therapeutic after the day that we had. Yeah. And then when we beat him,
Yeah, we started heading back up this way again, and then we heard big wings flapping. So we dashed back to hide inside his house, and that's when this giant dragon arrived. Very big, very scary.
Very scary.
We managed to decoy it away for a bit and start running away.
That's good.
Yeah, but it didn't work well enough. We couldn't get out of the canyon, so we kept going and hid in a mine shaft for a bit. But it must have followed our scent or something because it landed outside and was sleeping and waiting for us. And yeah, Elijah, I suppose you could say, ended up negotiating with it to find out what it wanted. And it turns out one of the dragons little dragons we'd fought up on the cliff, we'd fought 3 and ended up killing 1.
Right, I'm beginning to see what the connection of. Yes, okay.
Yeah, it turns out that was her child. And she's very unhappy about them being dead. So we have to, after we've had a chance to resupply and stuff, we have to go to the bit of land to the east between the gorge and the coast, where apparently there's this very strong magical artifact or something that will let us bring their child back from the dead. And if we don't do it, she's going to kill everybody, which...
Well, that's quite concerning.
Yeah, especially if she was sort of smashing solid rock without much obvious effort.
Yeah, the word we're hanging on to is genocide.
So yeah, we're sort of going to get resupplied, maybe get a bit of gear together, and then we're going to try and complete that mission and hopefully stop really bad stuff happening. I mean, I was planning to see if there were any good weapon schematics in the library, so Seven Home could have some defense at least. Maybe you've already found something.
Well, I mean, we have the natural defense of the sea around here. But,
it can fly.
I know that.
Yeah.
We could have a look and see what's going on. We're focused on making this a place to live rather than a place that we have to defend.
Don't mind me, that's just my...
Very strange.
That's very strange.
It's like she sneezed.
Or sleep.
Have you seen ghosts?
No. He's staring at the cat thing. That's good. Well, I can.
Doesn't like the cat in the form.
I can. Well, I can tell you point you towards some of the areas of research. We would probably need to enlist some other folks to come and support in the construction. Because we don't have much in the way. We have got more people. I'm sure you may have seen the changes. Obviously, you've walked across the bridge to get here.
Yeah, very impressive.
Yes,
It's-
appreciate the
It's
bridge.
interesting the gods have started making people here. They obviously approve of this as a place to live.
Well, it was very much a case of, but excuse me, it's been a long day. But we when back at Seven Home, we have the gods provide people when necessary for us to fill out different niches.
Yeah.
But
And I hear they even provide guard dogs here.
well, I've needing to deal with that one. It's been a bit of an issue. Anyway, yes, we can certainly get and have a look at it. There may be some more will turn up as things do. We've had a few wander in.
I wonder if any new people have been created in Newfoundtown. If there's people settling in new places, maybe new people are appearing in these new places.
Maybe we'll find that out at some point, but I think we need to deal with the dragon mission first.
Oh no, I'm just speculating is all. I think the dragon probably does need to be dealt with quite soon.
Yes, preferably sooner rather than later. There's something else that I've come across that might be worth dealing with at some point, but we don't need to worry. You've got your priorities, I think.
Oh, well, why not tell us? We might have some ideas, or we can at least think about it.
Well, all right. He gets up and goes over to a bookcase and pulls a small-ish tome, sort of like the size of my notebook. This is a ledger that was used for orders at various points. And here he sort of flicks through some of the pages. You can see that they are faded with age, quite a lot of these pages. And as he gets through towards the back, there's a page on there which has details of specifications over those pages. And it seems to be what's described as a series of blank vessels for soul implantation to be delivered to the domed city of Glacierhold.
Ooh.
Excuse
Does that
me.
mean anything to any of us?
What?
Yeah.
Soul vessels.
So, blank vessels for soul implantation to be delivered to the domed city of Glacierhold.
Do we have enough wherewithal to be able to deduce that Glacierhold possibly has something to do with ice?
Or minutes.
Yeah.
You have enough common sense to, the word glacier probably is relational to cold and ice and snow. So it's probably to the southern area from where you guys are.
Possibly the central mountainous area, because that's
there's a couple of things that Winsome has have researched. I don't know why I went into the third person there.
Hi, Winsome.
Hi, Winsome.
Baby.
sound mine.
Glacierhold is, or at least was, about 30 miles due south of the Central Mountains.
The Central Mountains.
But maybe a day's travel or so.
No, south.
Yes.
South and central. That's not where we want to go.
No.
Not
No,
right now.
that's a different thing.
Oh.
If we deal with the dragon, maybe that's something we can look into.
Oh.
What's interesting though is a lot of the designs and the schematics on this were faded with age.
It has been a while.
But this last page, and then sort of flips through to the end, you can see the ink is relatively fresh. I estimate this has been in the last 10 years or so. Whereas, difference between this entry and then flips page back and this one, maybe 1,000 years.
Is it in common?
It is in common.
Could the Gloop people written it?
Or do they know anything about it?
They don't seem to know. From what I can discern, this ledger is one of a pair. And it seems to link it. It's not something that they're conscious of, but it's just something they've done at some point. I don't know if it's hard to tell these things, but they just keep generating new versions of themselves, like the body replaces different parts, and they have lost the memory in the time that they've been regenerating. But something this is paired to something else.
So there is another book that someone is writing in, and
Seemingly.
And it's coming through to this book.
That's what I think, yes.
Have you tried writing something in this book and seeing if you get an answer?
I have not.
no.
Oh, good.
I turn and look at Elijah. It's like,
Well, I was only going to suggest
no,
but we could.
no.
How
No.
about
No.
It doesn't look like the book that Cassian found in regards to like making stuff and where they ended up, was it?
no?
Okay.
Similar sort of style and notation aspect in the sort of the ledger keeping, but it was not
General.
Yeah, it's just an order book of some description.
Oh.
Have we mentioned to Winsome the random magical effects?
You did, yes.
Very briefly. And grits teeth.
So yeah, I think that covers pretty much everything.
Yeah. So
You seem to have been busy.
yeah. A tad.
Well, if you're wanting to get supplies, and we certainly do have those now. You've obviously seen the farmers taking place. It seems to be we have been blessed with some very fast-growing crops, at least initially. We've had some success in getting supplies. And we've had bountiful animals to slaughter, so we've had plenty of meat that we can have. And
I've been Richard like laying in.
No.
No.
Oh.
They're
Non-sentient animals, I think.
they are people.
the ones you called canal cows and such like.
Oh, those things, yes.
And yes, other
And dogs.
animals.
Has anyone-
Well,
No.
no.
I mean, I
Oh,
assume
okay.
you at least have at some point made the journey from here to Sevenholme, since
No, I haven't actually.
judging by the map, it's not a huge distance.
It isn't, but I haven't made that journey. I didn't feel like going on my own was a smart idea.
That is
That's
very
reasonable.
sensible.
That's why you're wise.
Yes. Wise.
We heard that some people have been talking to the bees as well. Have you heard anything interesting from them?
Yes, we have sent the apiarists down to have conversations. Apiarists, yeah. As they have decided to call themselves, they've just gone to. They're the ones that communicate most well with the animals, including the ones that seem to be turning up here to become food, which is rather disconcerting. But they go and they have been speaking to the bees, and they've been attempting to learn the bees' language. They have
Do they communicate by dancing at them?
a little bit, yes.
It's
I
bop,
see it
bop,
as-
bop, bop.
It's not a perfect language, but it seems to work for the communication. But they seem to get what they want, which is we can get the honey from them.
There is honey. Oh my goodness. I
There
was
is.
wondering the entire time, was there honey?
Mega hyper honey.
super sugar.
Infinite honey. But yes, we have access to that. So we've got some of that fermenting into mead, which is quite pleasant. That'll take a little while, but we'll get there. But we have honey. We can do various things with it. People have been able to go up into the woods a little bit away towards Sevenholme and gather some berries and such. So we have sustenance. We have enough going on here.
Enough for us to kind of restock and head back out.
Oh yes, I should back also.
Brilliant. I like this. I wonder what Grit's up to. I'm going to go find him.
What time of day is it?
At this point, you're probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I think I like
Oh,
to
but wait.
head over there to start some research of my own.
Yeah, got to
So you-
that and then get some rest.
You all start making your way that way. Grit,
Mm.
you are down. I'm getting messages from you.
What his teeth will look like.
Yes. Okay.
Then they
alright,
shut
so-
up D4s.
Oh no.
Too
Too
soon.
soon.
So, Grit, you have made your way down to the library,
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yes.
and you are able to start researching to making your teeth for the sort of the objectives that you are looking for. So, what specifically are you looking to do with your teeth?
So I think first off, because we haven't done what's what I'm after? We haven't done anything yet with the Arcanium.
No.
We don't really know how it will react. So the first steps really are to find out whether I can melt down, create a mold, and remold them. So the initial intention is to create a set of teeth, basically.
Okay.
The follow-up intention is to maybe enchant those teeth, but I need to get to the first step of actually understanding the material and getting it into teeth-like shape.
Gotcha.
Teeth is priority. Magical teeth is a secondary benefit.
Gotcha. Make an investigation check for me.
Yes, I would love to. That is a 19.
Okay. Easy enough, you're able to go down the metallurgy section and you are able to come across the various melting points of different metals, including the Arcanium. There is a specific melting point for it. You are able to melt it down and you are able to cast it if you have a mold for the right shape.
I will have to make a mold, I'm guessing.
Well, you are also aware that you do have the glue is there, for lack of a better name, the fabricators. That you can put in the specifications of things and they can help with the making. Or they can, Arthur's back.
Yeah.
Help or not.
But they can assist with
Mommy,
construction of things.
like it.
He just found the broken dice that he broke. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm listening.
So you are able to make a
Not mommy.
mold and then you are able to cast the metal if you so choose.
I choose to do that, yes, please.
Okay. So you sort of
like a break.
have a little bit of a conversation with the fabricator and able to get a mold constructed that is just putting your various components for it. Doesn't take very long for them to do, but by this point, everyone else does turn up. And you start getting the bits of Arcanium that you have ready for smelting. You sort of estimate how much you're going to need to fill in this mold.
Why is Grit eating the glue?
How much do I need?
Not that much.
Yeah, I didn't
But
think it was much.
for a full set of teeth, you're probably looking at maybe a pound and a half
Still got
of metal.
How much does teeth weigh?
It's not so much that, it's more the physical amount of it, it's the mass that you're looking at, the volume of teeth, but that's just the density of it.
I'm gonna have like the henchest jaw ever after just eating like one meal.
Yeah.
Just square like an
Yeah.
anvil. Just
Yeah.
solid.
Oh,
Mouth and really regret it.
Yeah. Oh my god, like Jaws from
Yes.
James Bond.
Yes.
Give him a strength enchantment, jaws of ogre strength.
Bite everything.
All right.
No, that's our trick.
Yeah, we're the Voighty gang.
Oh yeah.
Biting We'll remind you that the mic is in the middle of the table, so crosstalk does really get caught up. And it's okay. This is a FYI because it's further away from me at the moment. So, yeah. So you're able to get the molds, and you are able to start melting down the teeth. Or start melting down the metal so that you have got them ready for smelting. Doesn't take that long for you to, but for the sake of this, make a smithing tools check. So this will be your intelligence and proficiency bonus.
You're on mute.
I think he's just mouthing.
Yeah, I was talking to myself mostly. Yeah.
Oh.
I realized I could just roll like I was trying to think what I could roll. I was like, I could just roll Arcana. That's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
15.
15. Okay. Easy enough to do. You're able to melt down the metal. The mold is ready for you by the time the metal has gone to its liquid point, and you're able to pour it in and fully cast it. So you'll have a set of metal teeth that will take some time to cool down, but they will be ready for you to use in about an hour or so.
Is there
Still
something? Is there anything quirky I noticed about the metal as I was melting it down, or anything else like that?
It seems to be that most times the metal doesn't always melt in a sort of continuous matter. It can it suddenly speeds up, but it seems to be that the heat transferred around it quite evenly, and it did sort of melt almost like butter. Well, that's had a very unique way of it melting down, and some of the odd ore lines that were sort of shimmering through the metal itself did seem to shift and stay in proportion when it went from solid to liquid. So nothing hugely unusual.
Cool. Okay.
Intriguing.
Yeah. No, that's just good to know, just in case there's any gotchas later or anything like that.
Yeah. All right. So the rest of you are down there. What are you researching, doing, crafting?
I'm having a thought.
That's dangerous.
This Arcanium stuff, it's good for channeling magic, right?
I look at all the other magic users. I look at Griff.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, didn't Reva say that they couldn't go near the big magic thing because they were creatures of magic and it was sort of too intense for them?
What, you think you're creating like a beacon or something to keep them away?
Maybe, but I'm also thinking, could we make some kind of, I don't know, magic dissipating tarp, I guess? Because if we're going there to resurrect the dragon, we don't want them dying straight away again, do we? So we might need to sort of protect them from the magic that's there.
By covering them in tar.
I don't know.
Oh, right, because the big dragon can't get there, so the little dragon's got no chance of survival.
I mean,
Like a Faraday cage, but metal, but arcanium.
who's Faraday? And why did you put him in a cage?
Where am I? Who are you?
I mean, does that make sense?
We need a way to protect baby. That's if it would be there that we would resurrect child, unless the thing that we just need there is where we resurrect child. We
didn't say precisely, did she?
No, we just had to go somewhere in order to.
You had to go somewhere to get the thing that would start the resurrection. You doesn't necessarily have to do it where the thing was.
So it's possible we wouldn't have to do it in
Reva couldn't
magic.
get close to said thing.
No.
So if we move said thing, Reva wouldn't be able to come close to it.
It might be that the thing is not necessarily the thing that is causing the conflagration that the Reaver can't get to. It might be that it just happens to be there.
There is a Faraday cage around the thing we want to go to.
Well, I guess the NPC that's going to be there is called Faraday.
Just coming.
I deem it so.
I was going to try and do some research on anything about the kind of magic that can bring things back from the dead. Since
You were also going to do that, weren't you?
No, that was my brother.
Ah! I got so confused. It was someone. Okay, so you and Elijah go and start searching that sort of magic. Make an investigation check with advantage. There's. I go to my section of notes titled "Researching the MacGuffin."
17.
17. Okay. So restorative magics, such as small healings, are fairly common among those who live a pious lifestyle or those who study the ways of magic. You sort of manage to find some of these tomes that speak of these magics and how they've been done. One of the more taboo forms of this has been the revival of someone who has fallen. Some believe that it rejects the teachings of the mother to accept the natural order of life, where death is a particularly vicious affront to her. Whereas others believed that the revival of a person that has been killed before their time was acceptable to the mother, to Skip, because she wants her children to live a natural life. With a 7T, you would also be aware of there being different tiers of restoration magic. In particular, there is the effectively the revivify spell, which the most immediate form of revival, and then there are at least 4 other methods of reviving a deceased person. The last one being of a true resurrection, which requires barely a fingernail of an individual to bring them back, or only a small portion of their physicality. Reincarnate, which also needs that, but brings back, it creates a new body that is not necessarily their own. And a general resurrection spell, which can restore severed limbs and such to the body and bring it back to full vitality.
Right. Does it say anything about? Presumably, it doesn't say anything about how these happen.
There are some teachings on how they do it with certain prayers and rituals that can be done, but they are at a level that your understanding doesn't quite get. You understand the effects because they're written in more base language, but the overall prayers and teachings that are taught for research purposes are a bit beyond you at the moment.
You don't find a copy of Necromancy for Dummies.
Unfortunately.
More to the point, I think good that Elijah doesn't print a copy of Necromancy.
I don't know, roll for Elijah.
Those are 2 of them searching together.
Damn it.
And you're doing this research. You
Yes.
have a small glue comes over, just a very small cube of it comes over and just sort of box you on your foot.
Hello.
What
I understand the sign language.
wanders away and goes over to a drawer that has been put there, and then just moves up the side and just sits on it.
I opened the drawer.
As you pull it out, it is a much wider drawer than you expected. As you pull it out, inside it is a saddle made of the white ghost boar hide that you would come across.
All right. I take it out of the drawer.
Mhm.
And I look at it and go, right, I shall put this on dash.
Bloody hell is he?
In a bit. I have other things to do first.
Mhm.
And I would like to do some research into interspace timey-wimey madness.
Madness. Make an investigation check. That's right, that's what you would. I can remember if you were that other one. How bad?
I mean, not good. 5.
Oh dear.
You spend a good few hours searching around for various transportation magics that you want to come across. A few of them are just fairy tales that you find of people teleporting and transporting through trees and disappearing over long distances. And some even talk of trees that could grow out of weird blue acorns that are almost nebulous, and you could step through them and wander away.
Absolute madness.
Madness.
Yeah.
Tilly agrees.
But you can mark down that you have the saddle of the ghost
Yes.
in your inventory.
Ooh.
Yes.
It is, yes.
Is the fun.
So you
Definitely not Ghost Rider.
As long as my head doesn't turn into a flaming skull.
That sounds pretty sick.
But you have that information now to you. Anyone else doing research, crafting stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to try to research for magic shielding effects, things that might dissipate magic, channel us away from some.
Okay, make an investigation check. Say it.
2. That's a natural 1
Yep.
plus 1.
So you spend a good while wandering around looking at magical enchantments to protect against other incoming forces and other magic. You end up going down a very deep rabbit hole that ends up talking about various creatures that are themselves resistant to magic. But nowhere in there do you find anything. It more catches your curiosity out of it. You end up getting lost going down these particular stories of different quests that have slain beasts who have proven to be impervious to magics of some description. And then you look at some sort of timepiece and you realize it's like 4 hours later and you haven't actually gone anywhere but you wanted to. You just read a very nice story.
Yes.
Oh.
Do I find anything on removing curses from dice?
That's more of a 9th level thing.
I'm not sure if it'll wish spell. Why not?
You try. Cassian?
No, not you. You are not Cassian.
Would you like me to remind you of the thing that you said you were going to research? Would that help?
Yeah.
You were looking at a possibility to transfer enchantments. Well, you mentioned it. But actually looking to transfer
Yeah, I
enchantments.
was going to see if I could find a bit more about the sword and if I could. I mean, Grit probably suggested this because Cassian's nowhere near as smart, but Grit probably just went, wouldn't it be cool if like your axe could also just catch on fire like this sword? Is that it? It gives fire damage when
Yes.
I crit.
Yes.
It's not.
Would be cool.
Yeah, exactly. So Grit's probably said that, and now Cassian is obsessed with trying to find a way to do that. So yes, I
Okay.
will do that.
Investigation check, please.
Come on, purple dog.
You may help if you wish.
Advantage.
Advantage. Or you can give Grit advantage if Grit is also looking for this thing, if you would prefer.
Is my investigation is +3. Do it.
21.
Yeah.
Okay. So just trying to remember what this particular item is called. What was the name for it? I've forgotten.
I just have golden long dragon sword.
Oh, you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Okay,
Sword
so
of the corpse hand.
Yes.
it is that one. There you go. It's a Dragon's Wrath weapon.
Awesome.
So, Grit, you spend a bit of time sort of doing the research whilst the teeth are cooling, and you are very quickly drawn to a particular set of enchantment, which is a book about the translocation of enchantments. And it talks about how you can transfer a magical enchantment from an item to another. Now, you've had experience in enchanting items, is one of the things you have focused on yourself, and the concept of transferring a enchantment from one to another seems fairly straightforward to you. It seems like it's something that is within your skill set, as long as the latter item is non-magical in some description, is not magical in some description.
Okay.
So it might not be possible in this instance. Is that what we're saying?
Sorry?
You're saying it might not be possible then because they're both items. Wait, no, sorry. The second item isn't magical, is it? So it is possible.
At present, Cassian's weapon is magical, but only because you have your enchantment on it has made it magical, which you can drop.
I would, yes, that makes sense. Okay. Okay. Is there the kind of prep work that goes into it and things that we need readily available here?
They are. It does talk about a gemstone of undetermined worth. It's a relative worth of it, but it is of gemstones to be used as a conduit for the magic. You need both items, and you need to have a spellcaster that can cast second level spells or higher.
Sweet.
Review.
Alright.
But it takes about an hour, and depending on the level of enchantment, it can increases on how high in mechanical terms how high the DC is. Also, the higher level of a spellcaster that you are, the higher ability of transference you are able to do. So, for an uncommon magical item, a second level spellcaster would be fine. First level would be able to do a common magical item and transfer that if they wanted to. Your weapon is an uncommon weapon, this sword that you have found. So Grit would be able to do a transition if you wish.
Yeah.
But it does consume the gemstone that you utilize.
Oh, I mean, if everyone's okay with me using some gemstone.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of big chunks of gemstones out of the mine, if that'll work.
And they are completely useless.
Until we find use for them, and this is a use for them that could give me a cool lure.
A warmer one, surely.
Yeah. Just have to hit something really hard.
That doesn't seem like it will be too much of a problem.
Nah.
Okay.
Just imagine you wandering over, there we go. Can I have some of those gemstones for a thing? And I'm just in my book. Yeah, whatever.
You don't know what you've done.
Classy mother.
Yeah. Okay.
He says you ask you.
You too, honestly.
I would love those moments.
Yep. So yeah, you have all the materials available to do this.
Let's do
Let's
it.
do it?
Let's
Okay.
do it. Let's do it. Do it. Do it.
So takes an hour for you to do so. Mark off a second level spell slot as your magic enchantment onto it. And as you watch, as Grit sort of reads out of the book and is casting the enchantment and setting up the various bits of it and reading out this spell that seems to translocate to the earth, you watch as the sword, carved as it is with the sort of the golden layers and shapings, and with the open maw that acts as the crossguard. As the enchantment starts to flow out of that, the sword seems to return to a still very finely crafted sword, but just a regular longsword. The gold seems to drain from the blade and go into the gemstone. In the second half of the ritual, he seems to transfer that from the gemstone over into your weapon, which has since been disenchanted by Grits.
Okay, so I go back
That's it.
down to a +6.
Yes. So it's just
Okay.
efficiency and strength. And he then transfers the magic across to it. And as it does, it moves into the weapon and starts to turn that golden.
Oh, it's going to be a gold axe.
Hammer axe.
Hammer axe.
And as it does, it does seem to transfer on it, as the blade itself has shifted away from being sort of dragonified. Words.
Dragonified.
The axe itself, the hammerhead, shifts into basically what looks to be the back head of a dragon. And the axe itself shifts into the jaw of a dragon with the curve, the sort of the curved blade of it being the gulp of fire being burst out of it. So you can see the teeth separating on it. You can just see the whole head looking like an open dragon's mouth. But it's now a dragon's wrath weapon for your hacks that can be used as a hammer and an axe. That's a great
A
axe.
dragon
Gold dragon's
wrath.
wrath weapon.
weapon.
Mhm.
So basically, if I crit,
If you roll a natural 20 on your attack roll, each creature of your choice within 5 feet of the target will take 5 fire damage.
Just 5.
Yes.
5 fire. 5 feet.
Yes, within 5 feet.
There we go. 5 points of fire damage within 5 feet.
So don't forget to roll out your.
Yeah, it's
and have
down
it
to a
to
plus
6.
6.
Yes. But it's still a magical weapon. So, you know, there's that. Is there anything else anyone would like to research or craft over the course of the time that you are here? And how long would you like to spend in Fosfinger?
Does that lower my damage as well?
It would lower your damage by
It
1,
does,
yes. It'd just be a
down
plus
to
3.
3. That's fine. That's fine.
I guess having failed to find anything on magic dissipation, can I try to find something on anti-dragon weapons?
You may. So this will be on the second day if you're here. So roll an investigation check.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
actually half decent. 13.
13. Okay. You are able to find books on how you can defeat dragons, particularly. Certainly, there's talks of how to defeat specific groups of creatures. In particular, for dragons, one of the things that they suggest that you need is some essence of the creature that you are looking to defeat. And in dragons examples, things like scale, powdered scales, teeth, claws, such can be used as part of the enchantment process to create these as honing weapons. They are time-consuming to construct. The Arcanium does cut down the time on it, and even creating like arrowheads for the arrows. But imparting the enchantment on it is quite time-consuming. With the Arcanium and with the various toolkits you're looking at, it probably suggests it's going to take at least 3 weeks to make an arrowhead.
Yeah, that doesn't seem worthwhile. That doesn't seem worthwhile investments of time.
A sword or such similar would take maybe a week to create. By contrast, in a similar sort of timescale, they could create something like a big cross. What's the word I'm looking for? Ballista. That's the one.
Ballista. Batista.
They can create Dave Batista to throw the dragon.
Throw a rock, but
Yeah, can we just
As a
spell that?
one, just
Summon the favorite like wrestlers. Just throw
Can't
them.
see it, so it's invisible.
or the Undertaker, as you cast it, everything just goes up.
Oh, we're there.
Oh, dear.
Tombstone.
It's funny. We'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh, you say we're cool.
Most of fall over.
Oh, dear.
I think I'll have a quick confer with the group about how long we want to stay here.
I am firmly of the opinion of not pissing the dragon off.
Yeah. How are other people doing with? How's everyone else doing with their projects? You sort of done what you want to do?
Look at my axe. It's gold and covered in dragons.
Yeah, it's very nice.
My ex is amazing.
I don't know that.
This is the last thing you shall see.
I cast my hacks in your face.
So everyone else is pretty much done with their shit.
I'm not sure what the grit is, but grit is one off. I also don't know how much.
Just wandered off to carry on with his teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, they were going to say very long.
And I
Cool down for a while.
spend a little bit of time with Desh
Yes.
and his new saddle.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I spend an hour or so.
Grit is not done.
Yeah.
Kind of finding out how this saddle works. And
Okay. You are able to enchant with the saddle. Attune to the saddle.
Yeah, I didn't want to say the words because
So you are able to attune to it. It gives you the properties of the saddle of the ghost.
sweet.
Do you share any of your? Do you communicatively share your conversations as you're at the end of the night?
Oh yeah, I do, and
Probably.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to pass on the anti-dragon weapon stuff to the people here. And I'm also going to drop off my Arcadian ore and remaining iron ore here, so that they can have all that stuff.
As you're sort of having your discussion at the end of that first night, as you mention the nebulous acorns, I would like everyone to make a history check for me, please.
Oh boy. Do I have
Except for you, because you've already failed the check on this
to
one.
be
I'll roll for
attuned
grit.
to? Yeah, that's fair.
What's that?
Am I attuned to
You
this?
do have to be attuned to that weapon.
Fine.
Ross says, thank you, Matt.
I know. Ah, you're on shit anyway.
What am I doing? History?
Yes.
30.
15?
17.
17?
3.
11 for grit.
Mhm.
15 for Elijah.
Okay.
And 18 for Klaus.
I said not for Klaus, because Klaus would already
Right,
get
yeah.
Anyway,
That's fair. So, sleeping baby and that's better. So, those of you who rolled above 15, which is Elijah and yourself, let's balance this. When he mentions nebulous acorns, do you remember that you came across some nebulous acorns when you were fighting against those carnivorous sods?
Carnivorous sods.
Is that what,
earthy turtle?
what I
Those turtle things. That you
no,
caught?
is that what I harvested that they were around?
They were. You harvested a couple of other things, but you also found those underneath them. And I can't put those in my notes. But you did find you found a pair of nebulous blue acorns that were joined at the cap. That was a deep blue. They seem to remind you.
No, that says crop of stone potatoes.
I feel like I don't know if I'm just misremembering things. I'm fairly certain you didn't come across them.
I feel like we.
I'm willing to take your word for it, certainly.
Let me see if I can find turtles. I don't think I would have gone into that much detail, but not session 1.
Grit remembers it.
Ross says, "Yes, I remember this."
When was this? This was when we first went into the.
After you left Fosfinger the first time,
Yeah.
like the session after the dragons. Yes, I remember this.
Black
So it must have
turtles
happened.
with wooden pointy teeth attack. It's actually the ground nightmares fight. Cassian smash it and Smokey makes a barbecue. We're still in the magic rain. Grassy bastard. Smokey jumps off Cassian's head and claws its head.
Ross says, I remember this, so it must have happened. I've only been here for like 4 seconds.
No. I didn't write it down, but I'm not surprised that I didn't write it down.
No, that's fair. It's all the
Definitely going to use grassy bastard. That's a context.
these are the episode title.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think for the purpose of this, I'll say you did pick them up because I'm fairly certain you did. No one else seems to have written them
I
down.
mean, if you mentioned them, I almost certainly did pick them up.
Yeah.
That's what Carl would do.
Yeah.
Yes, but you never. I think you picked them up,
Record.
and it was right at the end of the session, so you then forgot to look at them at a future point.
Could be.
So it probably happened right at the very end of the session. So you can spend some time studying those things and sort of spending a little bit of time. Roll an arcana check for me.
I'm better at that than at history.
Yes. I'll say with advantage with Grit's help.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so 8 is
Oh,
better than 7.
That is
So I rolled
incredible.
Okay. You don't really get anything from these in sort of your first study of them. You spend a little bit of time sitting down and having a look through. And since things are happening over the next day, we'll say that you spend some time looking a bit more research. It takes a little bit more time away from what you would be doing otherwise. Because you're effectively in downtime, it doesn't really matter at this point. You find the book that he was talking about, which sort of referred to these acorns. And you sort of follow the thread of it. Eventually you find another tome that talks of these in the magical plants section that calls them the acorns of the linked oaks. What you can do with these acorns, and when both acorns are removed from the cap and planted, the resulting trees will grow within a year to resemble 100-year-old oaks. When they are fully grown, the plants will magically connect to each other. Once per day, on either tree, a spellcaster can use an action to cast transport via plants linked directly to the other tree. The trees regain the ability to cast the spell at dawn. If one tree is cut down, the other becomes a treant and goes on a rampage to find whoever cut down their life partner.
That is so romantic.
If one tree dies of natural causes, the other produces a pair of acorns and then dies.
Oh, that's actually
Sorry.
really quite
A
sweet.
spellcaster uses an action
To cast transport via
Cast it.
plants.
without actually expending a spell slot or
Yes.
needing to have the spell.
Yes.
That's kind of awesome. It's
But those where those
but you have
plants
to
are
think very carefully
where
about
you
No. It's specifically linked to those trees. So it's
where
Yeah.
you want to plant.
oh yeah,
the
when you want to
trees
plant them, yes.
is what I mean. And
You just can't
obviously
pick them up
you can
again.
only do it once per day from each tree, or is it once per day for
For
both?
both trees, yes.
Right.
Mm.
I will convey this to the group and say I don't know if this is something we want to do yet. I think at some point this could be very useful indeed.
Grit nods his head.
I mean, it might be useful planting one near here, because this seems a place we're likely to come back to fairly often. But as to where to put the other one, that's a bit more debatable, so it might be worth holding off for a little while.
Yes. For example, it seems off the top of my head, 7 homes seems too close. It doesn't seem worth it. And Newfound Town, we don't know if we're ever going back there again. I mean, we probably will at some point, but
We'll keep hold of it for now. Could come in
Ross is moving
handy.
through the house.
Huh?
Ross is moving through his house.
Dun, 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 dun.
Every single TikTok is just wow.
I'm in the West Wing now of the house, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, very fancy.
Soon you'll be able to say that.
I kind of will actually, yeah.
New president?
Yes.
No, he's in the Oblong office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Ovaltine office.
just over these. Yes, so you have now discovered that you have the acorns of linked oaks, which someone, please, for the love of God, write
I
down.
have written it down in my inventory.
Good job.
All right, so Grit, you
Yes.
they're on
Yeah.
D&D on, so we can pick those up whenever. I made the note of that on. I created this object on the 10th of July.
Jesus.
For like 3 sessions ago.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh no, hang on, no, it's American Day, so the 7th of October. Not quite as bad, but still a while ago. Grit, you wanted to do something whilst you were here.
Yeah, I do. I want to enchant my teeth, but
Mhm.
I'm so indecisive. I don't know which one. So I'd like
So
you to roll.
for the sake of making things easier for you, for the purposes of enchanting an item, you need to have access to. If you're enchanting with a specific spell, you need to have access to that spell.
Ooh.
So either you or someone else who is a spellcaster that has access to that spell to channel it into the item. Otherwise, you're just making shit up.
Is there a particular
mean-
spell you're wanting?
Yes, but I don't think any of you have it.
I don't think anyone has it. Well, there's 3 options. I was thinking either Thunder Step might be funny, Vampiric Touch apart from biting people, or Haste also might be funny because you bite on licorice, but it'd be like crunching your teeth instead was my thought process. Anyone got any of those spells? I'm going to presume no.
I'm sorry, I
No.
cannot help you.
I suppose I could technically have haste, but I do.
No. But Beacon of Hope and
Oh, that would be interesting.
I imagine with Beacon of Hope, I'm just literally like, just like pouring out of my mouth.
I mean, even just to cure wounds is something, a quick self-cure you can do on yourself.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it's spells we have access to, I mean, I've got
What cool spells.
Searing Smite, Thunderous Smite, and Wrathful Smite.
Those sounds good.
I can't feel my teeth.
Teeth and Smite. Callum.
I tell you what, I will go for Cure
magic.
Wounds. Okay, in fact, based off earlier about the whole like a magical an item can't transfer it if it's thingied. Do they get the idea that I could maybe later on remove an enchantment and then put a new enchantment on something?
Yes, you could. You could
So
transfer
I
enchantment into a
So I
different
could
model.
do it. So for now, I could put Cure Wounds in there, at least for myself, and then
You
I've
bite
got-
people, you heal them.
Yeah,
The other way
Just a
around,
little-
please, guys.
just a little nibble, just to.
Yeah, no. We bite them, we get healed and they hurt.
Then
Just,
you get the
it's just a
love
little nibble on the earlobe, just to
Ooh,
revitalize people a little bit.
Does the level of spell you use make a difference as to what level of spell the enchantment would be?
It will increase the time taken if you're doing it at a higher level. So basically, it increases the rarity of the enchantment effectively. So if you,
Right.
so you could do Cure Wounds at 3rd level. It would make it make it a rare item,
Which would make it take
which would
quite
take
long.
maybe a week or so.
Mhm.
Given that there's a couple of you doing that, and there is the possibility of 2 of you are able to cast Cure Wounds, or 3 of you are able to cast Cure Wounds. They're just at different levels, which would cut down the time as well.
I will attempt to do that, and I will ask if is anyone able to assist with this. If anyone got some free time.
I should be able to help now that I've finished finding out about acorns.
I
Okay.
appreciate that.
All right.
If you're spending a week doing that, I'll spend time making myself a new anti-dragon sword, just in case we end up having to fight this thing.
Okay. So this will be 2 separate Arcana rolls then. So Grit, make an Arcana check with advantage to transfer Cure Wounds into your teeth. At 3rd level is what you're aiming for.
That would be nice. Yes.
But actually, no. This would not be your casting. It would be your casting because you're the one that's casting the spell. So it'd actually be
Yes.
Princess casting it, but with advantage from you for helping.
That's a shame. I rolled a 27.
Arcana.
Yes.
I can't get 27, I'm afraid.
It's okay.
I've got a 19 on one die.
I was going to say do more than 14 or 15.
23. Okay. Within the week, you are able to transfer into your magical teeth, which I will create an item for it later.
Thank you.
Teeth of Heal.
Teeth
Mhm.
are healing.
Tits of grief.
Yeah. 3rd, Cure Wounds. Boy, okay. So that's your enchantment done into. Hello.
Thank you. Pal, for that.
No problem.
And you're crafting of a dragon slaying what?
Longsword.
You do you have a long sword?
We have a spare long sword.
You do now, yes.
It's very finely crafted.
That's it.
Cathian.
I'm sorry. I'm taking videos of my dog.
At least you're honest.
Sorry.
As you're taking the magic out of that sword you found, could I have it? I want to try putting some magic into it.
Sure. It doesn't really do a lot now, but by
But
all
I think I might be able
means,
to turn it into something that's good for fighting dragons, just in case.
it's a good idea.
Okay. So your weapon is not made of arcanium, so it's going to take a little longer, but you can get assistance from the group.
And I have plenty of arcanium.
You have plenty of arcanium. Well, you'd have to craft a new sword to make it an arcanium weapon.
Okay.
But you're still able to do so. So roll an Arcana check with advantage because you are being assisted by the thing.
Seen that before tonight.
Wow.
5.
Oh no. You
Good
spend
job I didn't want to really care actually about this sword.
no. You spend a good time trying to get the enchantment in place. You get the various bits set up. Yeah, okay. I'm fairly certain I've got these right. The blades, the powdered scales. Oh, that's really okay. Here we go. And for the
really hard.
for the next 3 days, you try and enchant this, and it.
I'm gonna go and see Winsome and see if there are any prunes around this place.
You spend the next 3 days trying to enchant this, and unfortunately, all that happens is you end up wasting the materials that you used. The sword is still there, but unfortunately, I'm not able to enchant it at this time.
Okay, I would need more practice.
You're good at making the weapons. You've never tried to enchant anything before.
Yeah.
It's not a skill that
With
you're
the
practicing.
shields, that would mean working together,
Yes.
less specialised. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
So there is effectively the rest of the week whilst they're enchanting the teeth. So if anyone else wants to do anything here,
Is it possible to get some ammunition whilst we're here?
yes, absolutely. You can get some bow bolts.
I was going to say, I could do with some arrows and bolts.
You can get some arrows and bolts.
Running a little low.
Yeah, easy enough with the various materials. You can go out and get some wood to do them, and then you just get small amounts of iron or whatever to just create the arrowheads. So easy enough to create a couple of bundles of each. Cool.
Feather fletching.
If you wish. Or you don't pull them directly off him.
Yeah.
He does molt eventually. 2 week point, Desh has grown in the extra week or two that you have traveled.
He has.
So he is now effectively a full grown. He no longer has the issue of having to fly and only fly short distances with people. So
He's large.
he is a large creature now.
He's a large monstrosity.
He's
Yeah.
not.
Your other?
He's small horse sized.
Thank you.
God. No, he's just regular horse.
He's
size.
regular horse size. He's a horse.
Yes, he's
Big as a car.
He's a horse that can fly.
He's a horse that's got feathers and can fly.
And big.
Pegasus.
And looks like Big Bird.
I can do other cool stuff.
Now we can do some cool stuff.
Awesome. And then
Just do a
butt,
barrel roll.
and then just headbutt you.
Oh, there's one other thing that does need to be done, actually, Gret. In your time whilst the enchanting is going on, you can, after you've sort of had your capacity to do your enchanting, because there's only so much that you can do to assist in this, it's mostly Palimpsest doing his thing. You are asked by Elijah to forge or to create a spear out of
With the
his
scorpion's
scorpion
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Yes.
We nearly
Yes.
forgot. If literally, I think he would have been fuming if we'd forgotten. So
Yeah.
We would have retconned it because he's not here. So just for the sake of this, roll for me.
Yes.
There will be 2 separate rolls. First of all will be a crafting, which he will be assisting with. No, actually, he won't be assisting with the crafting. So this will be smithing tools plus your thing.
I can assist because I've failed to enchant.
I was-
So I'm free.
I will say this is before you, whilst you're still trying to enchant your swords, for just for the production of the converting the spear into a spear. So just this will be smithing tools plus proficiency. So actually, what skill would this be? This would be intelligence, I would say.
that's good. I can just roll Arcana and use that.
Yes.
22.
Okay, easy enough for you to do. You are able to take the sort of the chitinous skeleton off it, and you're able to wrap it around that central structure that it uses as a breathing tube, reinforce it with metal so that it's got a solid pipe core, effectively, and then you are able to set out the tail and the stinger itself. And as part of it, you do get inspired because you do have some of the giant water scorpion's poison. So you spend a bit of time trying to enchant it, which you will be assisted with, and you have time, sorry, if you can now help with this enchantment. And we will say that because it's Elijah trying to get his weapon done, you will get a D8 inspiration. D8 level? Is D8 level? Yeah. 5. I will check. Bear with before you roll the extra die, because I'm
Okay.
double checking the extra level. It is D8. Otherwise,
No,
This is going to be
is it
very high.
because he's spread.
Oh,
Well, that's right. Yes, because he's a 5-4, 5-1, 4-1. Sorry.
okay. D6. I mean, that's going to roll a 6. That's a 33.
Damn. Okay.
So
So
very crafted spear.
this is the
Oh,
enchantment.
it is.
I definitely got inspired. That's for sure.
You definitely got inspired. So because of this, the spear that you create is crafted from a giant water scorpion tail, as you know. It is hollow and can be used as a breathing tube. The weapon grants a +1 to attack and damage rolls. It has a single charge. As a bonus action, you can spend the charge to coat the weapon with poison. While it's coated with poison and it hits a creature, it must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. On a failure, it takes 3d6 poison damage, and its strength score is reduced by 1d4. On a success, it only takes half damage, and its strength score is not reduced. If its strength reduced to 0, it dies.
Is there a thing about recharging the charge, or is it?
There is one, but I haven't written it down. So it will recharge daily, and it lasts for a minute. So that
Success.
is crafted successfully. And with that success, I think we shall call it for this evening. It is getting a little late and things.
Luke needs to now go and just check every single bug in the system.
Just going to set fire to it all.
Outside, please.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. We shall return next week. We'll be playing some board games on Wednesday and probably some D&D on Friday, depending on people feeling how they're feeling in capacity. We will see how it goes. Thank you very much for joining us. Take care of yourselves. We will see you next time. Take care of yourselves and stay safe. Good night.